Happy Friday! It is Friday, January 27, 2023. This is the first of what could possibly be two. I'm really leaning heavily on doing our regular 6:30 show that we used to do on Fridays. Just a quickie. I am feeling a lot better to answer somebody's question in the chat room. My allergies have subsided. Attacking it early on really was the key. Every year I get these same symptoms, and I know they're coming because of the way the weather changes and how it affects my allergies. It hit me a little bit earlier this year, harder this year, but I was able to, once my tonsils and stuff, the roof of my mouth started swelling up, I knew I was in for some shit, and I hit it with everything I had, antibiotics to keep the swelling down, allergy meds, Benadryl, taking some time off, and I feel 100% better. I don't even have to take anything else, so I'm back to my usual self. And so I will probably be streaming a lot throughout the weekend because obviously we have our overnight show on Saturdays that I really don't like to skip. And so far, since we've been doing those, unless I've had something going on, I generally don't skip those shows. The only time I'm going to skip a overnighter is if we do our Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is once a month. But even still, I'll try to get one in on a different day, or if I have a major event like Project Ripper or the wrestling event that we have coming up. But unless those circumstances arise, I really want to keep our overnight show. I really like the diversity that we have there. I'm hoping to have some guests on this weekend, and really across the board, a lot of different themes come up. So, all right, let's go say hi to the chat. Hi, William. Are you feeling better? Are your allergies getting worse? No, they're actually getting better. I mean, I'm going to have allergies year round that are constantly going to aggravate me, but there's key points of the year where they just really become debilitating, and this last couple of weeks was one of those times. So it looks like I'm finally past it, though. I feel a lot better. How you doing? I do wish I'd had my own William verse. Let's see, you must have been the first one here. How you doing, Darcipio? Do not troll me tonight. Was you on Mr. H stream yesterday? You must be regarding someone else. How you doing, Damien? Larry, what's going on? Okay, he's referring to you. All right. Hello, Jared. Darcipio, what's going on? Okay, so you guys talk to each other. William, let's start with the Shazam trailer. I thought it was a pretty solid trailer. I hate the music. Listen, guys. Musical preference aside, stop using hip hop in trailers. It just doesn't fit. Unless you're doing a hip hop movie or the demographic is generally the hip hop demographic, stop putting hip hop in superhero trailer movies. Everyone that comes out, they slap that shit in there, and it took us forever to get past Kanye's Power being used in every damn trailer. But the Drake music just didn't fit. Other than that, it was a solid trailer. It showed a different tone, a little bit less playful tone in this one than the previous one was. I loved the first Shazam movie. My only problem with the first Shazam movie is it should not have been released when it was released. I thought it would have made a lot more money had the previous knuckleheads not screwed up the Trinity. Same thing with Black Adam. I think you would have been better off releasing these movies amongst a support network of other movies. And depending on what James Gunn decides to do with these remaining movies and what he decides to reset, this movie could really heavily benefit from what he puts out, or it could be kind of destroyed by what he puts out. And a lot of people are saying that, well, once again, that shouldn't happen. You should just go see it because it's a good movie. Shut the fuck up with that, all right? Like I always tell you, the floors of Hollywood are littered with really good movies that nobody gave a shit about because they were presented under circumstances nobody cared about. All right. Shazam, but everything but Blue Beetle of these four movies was released as part of a shared universe. So if there's any hint that that universe might be going away, you might have a problem. So let's, before we jump the gun, pun intended, let's see how he's integrated these final movies into what he's doing, if at all. But I thought the trailer was solid. Like I said, other than the music, I cannot stand when they do that with the music. But I thought it gave you a good idea of what the story was about, which is what a trailer should do. In order for Shazam to give these, these kids the powers that they had to have been stolen from Atlas, and now the Daughters of Atlas want them back, and that sets up an awesome premise. So, like I said, I think unfortunately this movie will live or die based on what happens with the future of DC and how it's announced. I'm a fan, still partying 3 a.m. here. Oh, 12:30, 13 a.m. How you doing, Aguilar? All right, so please no more Power by Kanye ever in anything. I'm sick of that, boy. Even if I wasn't tired of Kanye, I mean, he's just been an absolute weirdo over the last couple of years, or 3 to 5 years, and mentally destabilized knucklehead. I'm tired of that song, and it always seems like the same songs or the same type of songs. You got other music that fits, and if you can't find lyrical music that fits, use a musical score. I mean, the musicals, most of the time, and this is what makes me sick, these songs that they use for these trailers are not even going to be in the damn movie. So like I said, I other than that, I thought it was a pretty solid trailer. So like I said, I'm looking forward to the movie, sort of. I mean, I've come off my cliff of it being a complete waste of time, only because I don't know. Like I said, I think I don't know how hard we're going to be marketing this movie. We marketed the last one, and as a matter of fact, my Shazam shirt that I wear came from that marketing campaign. We designed those shirts and we handed those out to the crowd that went to the movies with us, and we sort of plan on doing it again. I just don't know how heavy. We haven't gotten any word on what kind of promotion we're going to be doing, and I haven't heard a lot about this movie, and I'm hoping. I don't know. I mean, if they've decided that this is a road to nowhere, are they going to spend the money to push it out? I know they're spending the money on the Flash, but the Flash might lead directly into what they're doing. So James Gunn said he was going to be releasing what he was going to be doing in the month of January. The January ends next Tuesday, so there's a good likelihood that he'll put it out on Tuesday, and I hope that sheds a light on what the remaining movies are, because like I said, it's really hard. I can go see the movies, but am I going to be as excited for them if I know that I'm not going to get, the most out of the story? And like I said, the shared universe is the way to tell these stories, period. You can have your single stories, you can have your one-offs, only if your shared universe is working, because nobody's going to give a fuck about the Batman, any more than they're going to care about a Justice League movie or a Superman movie, a connected Superman movie. As much as I love the Batman, that is not going to do it for the level and volume of content that these companies need to put out, the money they need to make, and for us fans, the sustainability. The Batman was released in March of last year. We're not going to get another one for maybe another year or two. That ain't gonna do it for me. I need more content in between now and then, and the shared universe is the way to do it. It gives you the opportunity to put out 3 to 4 movies a year and keep your momentum going for a good 3 to 5 year period. You could literally put out 12 movies in the time between one Batman and the other. Same thing with the Joker. They're just now started filming on that. So principal photography will probably be another 6 months. That movie was released, 2-3 years? I mean, come on. The frequency is just not going to do it. That's why you have shared universes. So let's see what he has in store for these remaining 4 movies and how he integrates them into what's going on. And then I think the excitement level, because like I said, the marketing companies don't seem to be making any major push as of now. And this movie, I think, gets released on March 17th. We're in late January, so I'm sort of concerned. I thought 77-year-old Harry Mann looks ridiculous in that outfit. Well, they all look ridiculous in those outfits. I mean, they're basically playing. Look what they're playing. I mean, the characters are all over the top. Everybody in there looks ridiculous. But, dude, man, at one point in time, that woman was super, super hot. I agree as much. I'm sick of this BS. I'm even sicker of that song. Yeah, I mean, every fucking movie trailer. No one man should have all that power. I'm like, oh, stop it. Stop it. Whatever movie you use that trailer in, there's a good chance, whether how much I love it, I might not go see it just because you use that shitty song. I can't. I'm just tired of that song. I never liked it to begin with, but I really hate the overuse of it. William, how do you think James Gunn might reconstitute the New Gods movies with Abner in it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he'll even touch that yet because, like I said, when you have too much unfinished business when it came to the New Gods that were starting. I mean, you had a Dark Side, you had Big Party, you had New Gods there, and you had a story that you can connect with it. I don't know. I don't know if he'll take some time to get to that. And these are kind of things that, like I said, this is where I'm not on board with the reboot because there was already a good story in place to be told. Every time that I see if he goes the route of, because there's only a handful of entities that could really bring a Justice League in the universe together, and Darkseid is one of the primary ones. So every time I see the forming of the Justice League going forward, I'm going to think about who are they going to use, and it ends up being Darkseid. I'm like, well, that's going to remind me of the really great story that I was in the middle of that I never got to end of. So he might just stay away from that for a while. What's your thoughts on the Razzies nominating 12-year-old Ryan Kara Armstrong in the Worst Actress category for a role in Firestarter? Listen, it's kind of tasteless, but then again, the Razzies that's what the Razzies are. Even though she's a child, she's in the public domain, and even at age 12, if your parents got to prepare you. You got to be kind of steely-eyed to it, or else you're going to have to get out of the business. I would say take the road that Halle Berry. Halle Berry showed up to get her Razzie, and she'd won an Academy Award. All right, that's an Academy Award level that just took it in stride. I mean, not every role is going to be great, and I don't think that's going to hurt her. I don't think that's going to hurt her career at all. I hope she has thick skin. But like I said, once you become an actor, an actress, should you target a 12-year-old? Maybe not. But if you are the 12-year-old and you stepped out into that public stage, it may not get better from here. I mean, part of your career may be having to take these things. I mean, look at, once you're a public figure, you're a public figure. And I hope our parents have prepared her for that. All right, any shows, the instrumental of RTJ's Legend Has It is the first Black Panther teaser, kind of made that trailer, the bass kicked off. Okay, hold on. The instrumental of RTJ's Legend Has It in the first Black Panther teaser kind of made that trailer when the bass kicked in and landed on the car and the logo panned into view. Yeah, and that was also back in 2018 too. I've had 5 years to get sick of a lot of different type of music being used. I thought Black Panther, that particular one, if I remember, that actually was appropriate for what they were doing. And you had to know your demographic. I still, demographic aside, I don't like lyrical music being used in trailers. All right, I don't mind them being used in a soundtrack, but I really don't like your trailers to be, unless it is going to be a song that is going to define the movie. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. You Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses. That was literally the anthem of that movie. They did a video from it. Arnold was in there. Every Terminator was in there. That was the anthem of that movie. If the theme song and the lyrical theme song is going to be the anthem of the movie, then that's fine. But if it's just some shit you're throwing in the trailer, just annoys the crap out of me. I'm still curious if we're getting the same DCU stuff going forward with a few additions like no Cavill or Affleck. Everyone else continues. I hope not, but I don't know, and I don't want to twist myself into a pretzel. Trying to guess what he's gonna do. We don't know. We know that Cavill is not his Superman going into his new universe, but we don't know if that means that we're never going to see Cavill wrap up as Superman again, or we just don't know. Like I said, I just need a lot more info on how these movies are going to be integrated and what kind of surprises we may have in store or what his plan is before I jump to those conclusions yet. How you doing, Daniel? All right, we're at 15 minutes. William, Matt Reeves said that he's going to possibly re-release in Gotham PD sometime in May this year, and the Penguin is around July 4th this year, but he's not certain of what dates it. Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, you got to have something because, like I said, I'll be 90 before the Batman 2 gets released. So, hey. I bet William agrees that Giorgio is a real life Wolverine, at least in terms of hair. Nah, don't. It all depends on I don't know, makeup chair. Based on the Shazam trailer, Jay, can you see yourself watching the opening weekend or wait till streaming? Um, the trailer's not gonna be what determines it for me. Where it lies and what the remnants of what's left and going forward is going to be what gets me excited. I am a momentum guy. I believe momentum makes money, and so if your momentum is leading me to a dead end road, then I'm a little bit less excited to jump in. If I'm promoting the movie and if they decide to give us a whole bunch of tickets, and I'm gonna have to be there because it's chaos. But the trailer had no bearing on whether I, was going to get excited for this movie or not. Because like I said, this movie is not a standalone. I don't give a fuck about Shazam as a standalone movie. I just don't care. I care about Shazam 2 in regards to the universe that is in. So if that universe is on life support and the plug is about to be pulled, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if I'm not promoting it, I'm not going to go see it first day. Unless I hear absolutely stunning, things about it. And I go, well, you got Scott and people who I trust, other than that, if we're not promoting it, which means I will be at a pre-screening, then I'm probably going to, it may fall into Avatar category for me. I haven't seen Avatar 2 yet. I don't have any plans on it. I thought I was going to make it through it, but I just have no plan. I'm just not into that movie. And if you're telling me that my universe is going to be broken up and, then it being a good movie might be enough. That stuff sounds great on a Hallmark card. Fuck that. My money is worth more than a Hallmark card. So if I'm dropping any dimes on any of these movies and investing time when I can be doing other things and it doesn't have what I bought into, I don't know if I'm going to be too excited about it. And who knows? I mean, it depends on how I feel that day. How much energy I have. But a lot of it is going to be based on where these movies fit into what's coming and how these are going to be resolved. Because like I said, just go see it because it's a great movie. Crowd can go see it. Go ahead. There will be seats for you. Have a good time. But I understand why a good percentage, if not the majority of people, if they get if it looks like this is going to be, run into a wall, I understand. Like I said before, I can't make a good case for you just to go see these movies out of hand. So the trailer didn't do anything for me today. It wasn't bad. It was a solid trailer. I thought it was a good trailer. But that's not going to be what determines whether I invest the emotional time and effort into going to see this movie. One of them is going to be whether I'm promoting it. If we're promoting it, then I'll be there. But if we're not promoting it on any high level, unless I'm, because it's not much. See, like I said, for me, comic book movies, that are a part of a universe were must see as part of that universe for me. And I enjoyed the DC universe. So if you're not going to continue that, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I can't really make a good case for somebody who bought into the universe to jump out of their seat and go see this. And the people who are, like I said, are trying to tell them to pay for your ticket. Who knows though? What up, guys? Daniel Martin, Larry Carr, everybody saying hi to each other. If someone's showing any power at all, supernatural or natural, it cut Kanye. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hate that song. Kanye has probably made as much royalty off that power song, yeah, and he probably gave up half of it with his last meltdown here. All right, so not peace. What happened? Oh, these singers and stuff now. Boy, my friend who has the CDC rated CD Neymar Action Comics says he's going to Vegas in a couple of weeks. He might go to your store to sell you that comic. Neymar, I mean, are you talking about the recent one, or are you talking about that one you were talking about from the 1940s? If it's from the 1940s, don't bring it by. I can't afford that. Take that like to Torpedo or something. I would love to look at it, but if it's from the 1940, if it's from like the timely comics era, just go ahead and it would just make me cry that I can't afford it. It's just hard to comprehend. WD owns the rights to all of their comic book characters, and yet Shazam's main villain won't appear in any of his movies. I know that's mostly towards The Rock and WB. Well, here's the thing about that. I agree with The Rock because the tone that they were trying to set with Black Adam and the tone that they were setting with Shazam wasn't consistent and wasn't ready. I mean, neither The Rock is going to carry that movie no matter what, and he would have just overshadowed that movie. I agree with eventually it happening, but here's the thing: let's go beyond that. Somebody should have said no to both of those guys. Somebody should have said no to The Rock, and somebody should have said no to Shazam. Not yet, guys. Let us get Superman out there and going. Let us get Batman. Let's get another Justice League movie out there. You know what? And then we put your movie in between those releases. I don't think The Rock being in Shazam would have made much of a difference because two characters that no one knew who the hell they were. Black Adam didn't do well, primarily because the general audience tuned out. Shazam is probably a $500 million or less movie both times out because most people don't know who the general audience don't know who Shazam is. Has nothing to do with the quality of the movies, unfortunately. So, you know, what was there to gain by putting Black Adam, you know, in that movie at that point? I mean, Dr. Sylvana, Mr. Mind would have been a better enemy than Black Adam. This is my opinion. William, let's say James is going to bring the box Henry Cavill, but it has to be a Superman. What villain or superhero in the GNU, DCU do you want him to play if it's not Superman? I don't really want to see Cavill as anything but Superman at this point. If you're going to bring him back as not your Superman that you're going to be using in your universe going forward, then bring him back as an alternate universe Superman, or to wrap up that universe, or Kingdom Come Superman. But I don't want to see him playing anybody else. He's the highest profile character. You've already played him. Why go down a notch? I remember, and I bet William does too, when Glenn Danzig wanted to play Wolverine. And I think he was a big fan of the character, fan casting before Ken. Yeah, and here's the thing, though, is I don't think Glenn Danzig is an actor. He's by trade. And the person who played Wolverine needs to be an actor. He looked like him, and even some comic book artists actually would draw Wolverine to look like him. I think Charles Muth did that in Havoc and Wolverine. If you look up, Google Havoc and Wolverine, it's a painted miniseries from like the mid-90s, I think. Look at how Wolverine looks there, and you'll see he took a lot of influence from the way Glenn Danzig was looking at the time. Sort of. If they're the same quality as a Batman, I'm excited for him. And they're on HBO Max, so if I don't like him, I can just X out of it. Did you watch episode of The Last of Us? Yes, I did. I really liked that while they're giving answers, what and how it happened. Also, good inclusion of the video game in episode 2. Can't speak on the video game, but I'm going to trust you on that. I love that opening scene where that doctor is like, just bomb it all, kill everything. Can you take me home? I just want to be with my family. I mean, she understood when she saw those things coming out, that she understood. And they've opened up each episode with great care and splendor. I mean, the openings of these 2 episodes sends chills down your spine before you even get to the present day characters. They're telling you the history of all this, and they're telling you what can happen. The first episode opens up with the guy telling you what would happen if a mind-controlling fungal infection happened, and then you jump right into it. And then the second episode is showing you some of the earliest cases of the disease and the fungus, and the main doctor just telling you abandon all hope, bomb it. But, and that was just a chilling episode, a chilling opening to the episode. William, what movie in the last 10 years or when you were a kid, based on the trailers, you thought was going to be good and it was horrible? Ooh, wow. Independence Day, Resurgence. Even though I should have known that was going to be bad. In fact, yeah, the trailers, I should have known better before that. That's about it. That's probably the one that comes to the most disappointing. I'm pretty sure I can think of more as time goes on. How you doing, Bell Rev? My favorite F-bomb factory. How you doing? I was watching your stream the other day when you were putting on makeup and talking to people. Just whatever you guys want. I'm just answering questions for the next 20 minutes or so. William, prepare thyself for a super chat about UAPs. All right. I'm not going to claim I know what the hell that is. Somebody tell me what a UAP is. Let me Google it. Probably know what this is, but not. Oh, shit. It could mean a lot of stuff. Unidentified aerial phenomena? UFO? Is that what you mean? I'm old. Sorry. Sorry, but I agree with some reactors who watched the trailer said if you love DC and the cast, you should watch this movie no matter what. It's connected to DCU or not. That's not something you can tell some. I mean, that's an opinion. I can respect your opinion, Michael K. But you can't tell someone how to gauge your excitement if that's not what they bought into. I mean, if I like DC too, but I love DC for what it presented to me. The DC I love is being kind of ran into the ground. So it's up to each individual to make his or her individual opinion on whether they want to go see this movie or how excited they are. And with the advent of HBO Max, I mean, it kind of makes it blurs that line a little bit because you can still watch it 45 days later. You just don't have to pack up the kids and the family and spend $100, to bring them to a movie. If you don't think that movie, like I said, each time you step into the movie theater, it's an investment. And when you're talking about a comic book movie as a shared universe, it is a shared investment. And yeah, it does matter whether the movies are connected or not. That's what I bought into. All right. Just because you guys want to change the game up in the middle of the shit, that doesn't mean I that's not what I bought into. I bought into a overall story. And I have the right to disengage if I want to, if that overall story is not going on anymore. And it's like if I, like I said, if Shazam had been a movie that existed in its own universe, maybe. If Aquaman had existed in its own universe, maybe. But they didn't. Aquaman was literally bought in through a connected movie universe. All right. Cameo or not, Superman was in Shazam. It's a shared universe. So if I bought into it because of that, and that's not there, you really can't really make a case for anybody to change their mind. And if it's a really good movie, it'll be just as good for people who don't want to go see it in the theaters on their screen on HBO Max or on their phone or on their computer screen. It's an individual decision, I think. Yep, pretty much. I hate everything that isn't Zack Snyder. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not to that point because I liked comic book movies before, during, and after. But at the same time, once again, the problem that the people have been left with is had they let him just finish and end things on his own terms, and we wouldn't be having these issues. If that had happened, Saffron and Gunn probably wouldn't be in their positions. I heard one of the things. We're tired of being neutral about this. I'm going back to my old ways. I'm being pushed. Oh, Danzig for Calabac. He's too small. Calabac is huge. Then again, you know what? If they can make the Hobbit out of Elijah Wood, then yeah. Belfonte similarities, and that's Shazam trailer where he was charging that dragon with a spear of some sort. Sounds vaguely familiar to one of the greatest comic movies ever. Yep. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, my favorite Indiana Jones movie is Raiders of the Lost Ark. The X-Men cartoons after 1997 made Wolverine tall I think Henry should play the next Wolverine or Cyclops. I think him and Hugh could have a good chemistry. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Cavill's going to do another Superman movie. And like I said, I mean, if they're going to be historically African, Wolverine is 5'6", so he's not really a very tall guy. 5'3" minimum, 5'6" at the most. How you doing, Sion Sleep Media? If I got that right. The movie Battleship is so terrible, it's hard to turn that channel and look away. Yeah, but the trailers for that sucked too, so I really wasn't shocked. Hi, Larry Carkwood. Thank you for the $10 super chat. William, with your military experience, I'm curious about your opinion on the payout effect patient, a drop of truth in an ocean that lies, or just information. If you don't know it, here's the articles, wikis. Hold on. I've heard of that, but I don't have details. Hold on. Is that... Ooh, yeah. This is pious. Yeah, this is a NASA thing. Ooh, yeah, that's some complicated shit right there. I have not heard of that. That's a NASA thing. It looks like. So no, man. You sorry. um, with any type of experience, let's bring this up. Hold on. Let's see. Pious effect. All right, pious effect. All right. Dude, this could be a whole stream. The pious effect, an Einstein level breakthrough or government funded gaslighting. On February 1st, wow, dude, this is a lot. It has a lot to do with fusion and human fusion. That's kind of interesting. That's like some X-Files. To be 100% honest with you, Larry, I am not versed on this, but it's something that just judging on the stuff I just pulled up would be like literally an hour or two if we were able to dive into this. You know what? I'm going to make you a promise, Larry. I'm going to do some more research of this and give you an informed opinion. Now that I got it pulled up, I'm sending myself the link right here, and we'll revisit this. Remind me to revisit this. I'm sending myself an email right now because this is interesting. Anytime you have a high frequency gravitational wave generator for high speed space propulsion and communication through solid objects, dude, this sounds all plausible and very interesting. Given it's not as much the military experience for me that intrigues me about this. It's the sci-fi nerd in me that. So hey, Larry, let's remind me by Saturday, and I'll let you know what I think about this. We might even go even deeper than. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Both I and the Pointer Chalance appreciate the support, but that's very interesting. Shazam sucks. I enjoyed the original movie. Like I said, it's a bad time for the second one coming around. All right, yes, UIP, the current official designation. Yeah. I'm just looking at it right now, dude. We're gonna have to. We can't do that on a Midnight Express. We got to do that on a full blown show. I need Thade with me for that one. All right, William, I understand why people when they debuted the X-Men, but I think it's going to happen. Okay, William, I understand why people when they debuted the X-Men, but what I think is going to happen is one person from the original team as a leader, but they're going to have unknown X-Men. I don't know, man. It's hard to I don't know what's rolling around in Kevin Feige's mind, and I do think we're a little bit away from having a complete team of X-Men. I think they'll start introducing X-Men pretty soon. My bet, and you heard it here many times, I think the first mutant that's actually recognized as a mutant because you've had mutants all throughout is going to be Apocalypse. I actually think that Kang, in all one of his personalities that goes back to the ancient Egypt and finds Apocalypse is Immortus. Immortus goes back as Rama Tut. They're all Kang. And now that we're starting to be introduced to Kang and all these other realities that we're going to get, I think that is going to how they're going to actually bring in a legit apocalypse. Not that Oscar Isaac one, but a legit apocalypse. And from that point, that is going to be the threat that the X-Men rally around. All right. That's my theory. Okay, I want to see the Flash for the Easter eggs of Michael Keaton. The Flash might be a different egg altogether because of it, how it may transition to what's going on. And, once again, disclaimer. All of us, a lot of these announcements that come out could change everything I'm saying and make it bullshit. If I get a clear picture of what's going on, then that could change everything. If these movies are being integrated into a logical and respectable transition, that's going to make all these movies, in my opinion, must see. But if it's not, if it's just a wrap up, it depends on how they wrap it up and what their plans on wrapping it up are. But if there's integration to me is a lot more exciting than just running out the clock. So everything I'm saying, as far as like not being as excited about these movies, if they, if they're connected like they should be, then that could change if with new information. I'm gonna start acting like a real Zack Snyder Toxic fan. I'm sick of this. Nah, some of those guys, like I said, I can understand the people who are frustrated and feel like their 9 years has been wasted. Some of those guys, like the ones that are just like completely just off their rocker, making death threats and shit. We're not those people, and I don't associate with those people. But the toxic people really, really make things harder for me and all of us. Sorry, I'm skipping past the Slipknot thing because I don't know a lot about Slipknot, and I'm so you guys are having that conversation with each other. I'm excited for the Flash. I'm curious about the Flash. And as far as Michael Keaton does nothing for my excitement for the Flash. My 14-year-old self's Batman, 30 some odd years later, showing up is not moving the needle for me. It may move the needle for you. I just find it hilarious that we're going to use a 73-year-old man who has not been any relevant Batman costume in over 3 decades, as that's what the focal point of our movie is a Flash movie is going to be. And I'm wondering, like I said, if I've moved on as far as like that kind of Batman and my relatives. I mean, nostalgia is a dangerous thing. It's hit or miss. And when it misses bad. But who knows? Like I said, somebody who was there in June of 1989 to see that Batman for the first time in movie theaters, I'm just not excited. That's not what's bringing me to the Flash. That's just not, that's just not moving it for me. No disrespect to Michael Keaton, one of the best actors of his generation, but you're like 8 Batmans ago, dude, and three decades removed. That now, Ben Affleck's Batman, I am excited about that one because that Batman was cut short for me, and that's my favorite overall Batman. Even if I think the Batman is the best overall movie, Affleck is better than Batman, or a better Batman individually. I was bored with most of the unfocused, lighthearted trash DC keeps putting out. My problem is like I said, they screwed things up so bad with Zack Snyder and his original stuff that they couldn't touch it because they had shit on their hands. All right, so instead of getting those characters because they fucked things up, we got Birds of Prey, we got the Huntridge, we got Polka Dot Man, we got Peacemaker. No matter how those quality-wise those turned out, general audience just tune out. And DC is Superman, DC is Batman, DC is Wonder Woman, DC is Green Lantern. Yes, there are a whole bunch of other characters. They ain't shit. All right, you get fucking nowhere without those characters I just mentioned. There is no credible DC that people care about without those characters I just mentioned. I don't care how much you want to see Blue Beetle. I don't care how much you want to see Booster Gold or Gleek the fucking monkey or any of this other shit. You without those characters, without Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, all right, without those primary characters, you have nothing. You have no ground to stand on. And it has been proven these last 5 years under the Hamada regime and all these other clucks that no one gives a fuck about these B and C characters outside of the shadow of those characters I just mentioned. And you're wasting a lot of people's good work, good acting, good time, good production, because some of these movies are really good, but they're not making the money that they should make because you give me a diet of Superman and Batman, and then you cut off that diet and give me Weasel. Like I said, doesn't matter what, what other characters you ever plan on putting in. I don't care who it is. Without the Trinity and without the close support characters that make up the Justice League, you don't have shit. All right, you don't have nothing, because what you're doing is you're coming in below the expectations of what DC is. You don't set those expectations. All right, modern day fans don't set those expectations. Whine all you want to. Those expectations were set decades before any of us were born. All right. So the lightheartedness wouldn't have been so bad, but it's lighthearted characters nobody knows, nobody cares about. All right. Mary Marvel, you know what? I mean, nobody knows about these characters. All right. Nobody knows. And the characters you're bringing brand new characters into the Shazam movie. Nobody knows. Oh, they should have used Black Adam. Nobody knows who he was. All right. It starts, ends, and begins with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, so on. All right. They give you the cover to experiment with all this other stuff, lighthearted or not. That's where we got to get back to. And the one thing that James Gunn, I think, is going to get back to, because it's under the mandate of Zaslav, is we get back to the heavy hitters. Stop giving me these C and D-listers and expecting, and then coming back at us saying, well, you guys didn't support it. We supported this crap. Whether we wanted to or not, we showed up to the movies. The general audience went like, Polka Dot who? Captain Boomer who? What? That's where you lost your money, not us. Don't mind lightheartedness, but I do mind D-listers and C-listers carrying the weight for DC films, and then people turning on the fans saying, well, we're booting because you didn't support it. But it's bullshit. Where was I? Shazam trailer was mad. I can't tell if they were jacking Kryptonite Superman spear. The final kill scene is Bay Hammond. No, that was the staff that they had in the first one. When he told them to touch the staff, because they want the powers back. Those hags want the powers back. They're Atlas's daughters, and that power is rightfully theirs. But the wizard Shazam said no. All right, let's see. I know you're messing around. I mean. All right, let's see. I think he said he was working for the Navy. Okay. Naval Intelligence. Ooh. It's Lucy's delivery that didn't sit right there. Oh, Lucy Luce. Yeah, it's a little bit pushed. Bell was laughing at the trailer and not with it. William, have you seen the trailer for 65 without Driver? I think it looks pretty good. I did see that, yes. Kind of a weird premise for a movie, but I dig it. Black Star Afro 2. We are accustomed to Wolverine being 6 feet tall because if we are a comic book actor, it does not look like Ian McKellen. He looks closer to The Witcher. But then again, you have Michael Fassbender who does. I mean, it all depends on, who they end up using for Magneto and how closely do they want to do with the stories. Remember, there was a lot of liberties that the X-Men took with the way things looked and felt because they were the first ones to break through the door of the big major, budget, movie of that type. So I think if they were going to do it now, I think they would probably be a lot more accurate to the comic because that's how they've been at least as far as their appearance of most of them have been, the main guys. Because that was, like I said, 2000, 2002 was different than what they would be trying to. By the time they get around to the X-Men, we're going to be talking about 2024, 2025. We're literally talking almost 30 years after that era. And what passed for Magneto and McKellen and all those in that era, I just think they would. It's just a different atmosphere. I think Wolverine will probably look, like Wolverine. I think Magneto will look exactly like Magneto, just like Kang. Kang, they found a way to make Kang look like Kang when he's using his powers and those stripes go down his face. So I think they're going to take a different mentality when it comes to this batch of X-Men. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that. I got it up on the screen right now. All right, Daniel has a member chat. Where is Daniel at with the member chat? Wow, where is it? Okay, hold on. It doesn't come up here. Let me look up it on the screen here. Hold on. Live chat. All right, Daniel, I'm looking up your members chat right now. See if I can find it. All right, Lucy Lou's lines in the trailer were cringe. Agree? Yeah, I thought they were all cringe though. All the older ladies in there, I thought they were all kind of But like I said, it's also a trailer. They might be great in the movie. All right, where was I? I don't know where I was. All right, I got you. Remember that? Very deep diving there. Yeah, I will take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, and plus, it's like I said, a trailer, and I hope there's another trailer. I hope that's not the last trailer. Say, Shania Train was hot, so I would sell out. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that they can do it. There's a lot of different eras they could take it to. I mean, I'm interested to see when they finally put it out, what they're gonna do, how they're gonna play it. I think Flash will get delayed again. Oh, I don't think so. I think we're inside of the window now, and with the Super Bowl commercial coming out in a couple of weeks, I think that I think the Flash is coming out and on what is it, July 27th or July 23rd? I think that's set now. And Aquaman 2, I don't think they'll delay it. It all depends on what's going to happen. I don't think so. I think they're trying to wrap these movies up. And the more that they delay, the more that it hurts them. William, he's my GNU X-Men team for MCU. I want your thoughts. Cyclops, Moonstar, Thunderbolt, Magic, Cypher, Hope. Those are all great iterations of X-Men. If I'm them, I start with the original. I start with Beast. I start with Cyclops. I start with Marvel Girl. I start with them and build from there. I mean, you could get to iterations of these teams, but I think it's really important that they start. And Marvel generally does that. I mean, with the Avengers, they started with for the most part the core Avengers. You had Black Widow in there instead of the Wasp and Ant-Man, but for the most part, the founding Avengers were there. So I think the founding X-Men should be there when they finally get around to that team, even if they do introduce these other characters and other things. Yeah, and like I said, what ends up happening with Apocalypse is is Rama Tut goes back there to basically cultivate him and basically trying to make him his protege. So I would love to see them do that. And Rama Tut is Kang. So all right, the Croc is running out on Glenn's Bible presentation Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I think that's when it's going to actually happen. To be honest with you, I think when he said January, I think he's going to make us wait all the way to that date, which is fine. William, if Marvel can't get full rights to Neymar to do a standalone movie or show, where do you think his next appearance is going to be? Fantastic Four, X-Men, or Wakanda Disney show? Oof. I don't know enough about where they're going with some of these storylines to tell you where he will pop up. Obviously, he has connections to Wakanda. I don't see any reason for him to be appearing in the X-Men. Fantastic Four, but you could also have these other movies where you have Secret Wars, you have Kang Dynasty, you have other movies. There's a lot of movies he could be coming into, so he could be in any of those movies. I doubt it would be X-Men. Fantastic Four would be logical depending on what the story is. But his story arc would remember what he said at the end of Wakanda Forever. They're going to come for Wakanda, and when they do, she's going to need allies. So my bet it would be with the Wakanda Disney show or one of the Avengers movies, and that's how he becomes an Avenger. Yeah. That's good. It's not. No, I have never heard of him. To be honest with you. Sorry. Yeah, nostalgia. You got to be careful. Nostalgia. Now it's just nostalgia is like a time bomb. If you don't wire it right, it'll blow up on you. Boy, if Ben is going to be directing a new Batman movie in a new DCU based on how he was playing the Batman in the previous iteration, I would be down for that. That would make my day. The guy who played Bruce Wayne in Titans looked more like the Batman from Batman Beyond than the younger. Oh yeah, because he was the guy who Ian what's his face? He played Mormont in Game of Thrones. Yeah, he was supposed to be an older Batman. He was supposed to be a Batman who was pretty much really at the end of his rope. Yeah, I feel like people are forgetting that Batfleck is in the Flash just because the reason it's super psyched out. The Bat Cycle is sucking. Yeah, I'm. If first of all, if I'm ever going to be psyched out for the Flash, it's going to be because of Flash. You know, and I think people are gonna people who are thinking that that it's going to be a Batman movie may be disappointed. I think because it is. Remember the title of the Flash. The movie is the Flash. Boy, what are your thoughts on Saffron and Gunn canceling Doom Patrol? They did not cancel Doom Patrol and Titans. That happened before their tenure began. And as somebody who loves both of those shows, I was expecting them to be canceled midway through their second season. They were extremely expensive shows for what they were. Remember, both of those shows were for DC Universe app. They weren't even for a streaming service. They were for the app. Titans was to get you to subscribe to the app, and that's what I did. And then Doom Patrol came in episode 4. The actual episode Doom Patrol was a spinoff from Titans, and I started watching that. Both of those were for the app. They were never meant for HBO. They were never meant for TV. And when they brought them over, they actually built up the budget a little bit more, and they got more time than I ever thought they would. But as much as I love Titans, as much as I love Doom Patrol, I knew the audiences for those weren't very big. I knew they were a guilty pleasure for me. Even though they weren't minuscule, they had their following, but you have to justify the cost of these versus what they're bringing you in and what their original intentions were. 2, how much story do you have left to tell with these particular characters, and how much do you want to pay to tell those stories? Usually I'm disappointed when a show I like gets cut. But in this case, I think 4 years was enough for both of those. I think Titans, I'm watching Titans, it ran its course. And I think there was, any spot to end Doom Patrol would have been fine. 4 years for a streaming service. We're not talking about TV. We're talking about a streaming service. All right. Unless it's Game of Thrones, 4 years is good. There's a lot of shows I like Westworld or Raised by Wolves, that were extremely expensive to do. And once their audience starts to wane, it's not like a TV show where you can have a decrease in audience and you'd be all right. You're talking about a streaming show that costs a lot of money. So I wasn't surprised. And I knew going into season 4, even before Saffron and Gunn were hired, that there was a good chance that the 4 seasons would be the final episodes for both of these shows. And I'm okay with it. They had really good runs that really, under normal circumstances, these shows don't even happen. So, I'm not feeling too down about that. He's 73, so he's still in great shape. It's just like, it's just like, damn, dude, you guys don't have any. You guys don't want to take risk on anything other than the charted path of nostalgia. It just gets old. Let's see, Slipknot. How much do you love Williams hardcore takes? He doesn't hold back when he comes to DC. I think we got to where we are because everybody held back. Everybody didn't tell everybody around them that they were full of shit. And the people who were spending the money, who went out to see these movies, who went out to, support these movies, bought the physical media, supported these movies online, we got shit on. While, Marvel fanboy, who was never going to go see our movies, we fucked us over because we had execs that didn't know what it meant to make DC content. So we held back. We didn't want to be that fan. Now I have no problem with telling people to go fuck themselves. All right. The move on crowd, you know how I feel about you. Some of you I love. We're buddies. But when you tell me to move on from Snyder or whatever, you know what my response is. All right. The reboot crowd that just says, well, DC needs nothing, just throwing it around. Those people, new to the game, nobody who's been involved in this and spent this much time liking these characters and their iteration would be just ready to flush everything down the drain. So, yeah, I think we spent too much time holding back. So, yeah, no more. Fuck that. I wish it was a real life Flash to go back in time and fix the timeline. Yeah, who knows? Might be happening now. All right. Let's see. Are they having DCU Batman or no? I'm out of the loop. I don't think it would be confusing to have more than one. But are you going to have two young Batman stories and have the same time? Probably so. Hell, they put out 6 Batman comics a month. That doesn't confuse anybody. See, and here's the thing about confusing. And then a lot of people are saying, well, you can't have this because it'll confuse the fans. If you're a fucking moron, yeah. And you know whose fault it is if your audience is confused? The person giving you the information. You should be able to put together anything you want to and know that you can explain it to your audience and that they're not going to be confused. Marvel is about to introduce King the Conqueror, right? Whose sole existence is more confusing than anything anybody's asking DC to explain, right? And on the heels of that, they're going to give you Secret Wars, which by definition is a clusterfuck. But you know that why their odds to make it work and to make it relatable to their fans are high, because they're going to do their job, which is to present it in a manner that their audience can understand. Confusion is not an excuse. Confusion is an excuse if you're a moron and the presenter is a moron. So if one of the two people talking to each other are morons, then yeah, there's confusion. But if you have an accepting audience because you primed them and got them ready, and you have a great presenter, your producer, director, whoever, James Gunn, then there should be no confusion. You should be able to explain, hey, listen, a teacher made trigonometry and calculus, made this dummy that you're staring at understand that. All right? Because I wasn't a complete dummy, and that teacher was good at her job. So when you're saying that, well, the people say, well, if you can't do that, there's just too many. It's going to be confusing. If you are a fucking moron, yes. If the teacher knows what he's doing and the student has an open mind, there won't be any confusion. You can put as many things out there as you want. Do 2, 3 Batman. You explain to your audience and your customer what's up and what's down, and that's what they will listen to. All right? Don't take your customer for a fool. So that's how I feel about confusing. Oh, wow. I've never heard of that band. Sorry. Exactly. Blue Beetle. Yeah, there you go. If JL Netflix is greenlit by some grace of God, if I'm Zack Snyder, I'm calling every favorite just to prove the industry wrong. Yeah, I would. Young Justice in the Justice League cartoon allows the introduction of C, D, and F characters so they shine. Yeah, and when you're talking about a cartoon, you're talking about low risk. You're talking about, not to make fun of animation, that's not what I'm here to do tonight, but when you're talking about animation versus a film budget and the kind of jobs that are on the line if the film bombs versus animation, the risk reward is just so different. So yeah, but it is a platform where you can test these things out. So I do agree with you, Black Star Alpha. All right, let's see. Williams 100% on point. He should be running DC. Like I said, you guys would be in trouble. If I were running DC, like I said, rule number one, and I hope James Gunn sticks to this. Don't be a pussy. All right, do not take on the DC adventure if you can't deal with divisiveness. And just like confusion is not an excuse to go forward, not to go forward, divisiveness is the lamest fucking excuse anybody will ever give you. Well, they released those movies and they were divisive. So what? When things get divided, choose a side. Choose the winning side. Choose the one that gives you the most money. If I got a side that gave me $678 million, I don't give a fuck about what the other side's doing. All right? I'm going with that side and I'm building on that side. You guys who didn't like it, I'm not going to tell you not to watch. We're going to build on what we have faith in, and we know that if you give it a shot, you're going to like it. That's how much faith we have in our plan. All right, you cannot be a CEO of anything and be a pussy, and that's from 2013 up till now is what we've had when it comes to what DC Films was. So James Gunn, regardless of whether you make what I love or not, or continue what I like, please don't be a pussy. All right, don't let the fanboys are we're fans. We're sitting at home staring at a screen for a reason. You're running that show. Run that show. And know who to listen to too. Not everybody needs to be engaged to. Not every diaper crapper is gonna have just because it's not his Superman or it's not his Batman. So what? There's 85 years of these characters. You're not gonna win that battle. Pick which one you want to do and go forward. And that's what should have happened in 2013. But we had pussies at the helm, and we are where we're at. All right, Martin, I feel like Battinson has to join the DCU. I don't think that ever happens. And I think Reeves rightfully should walk if they ever force him to. I'm sorry, but it's going to be hard as fuck to surpass Henry Cavill casting. It's going to be hard. And that's going to be one of James Gunn's jobs. All these things that they're replacing, if they are indeed replacing them, you put yourself in a position, you've chosen this path, they got to be better than what came before. All right, definitely don't want that. Fantastical Batman, so do I. Taking away a brief glimpse of Olympus that you saw in Thor: Love and Thunder. I hated that movie. Oh, and when I want to see a whole movie just based on Olympus, no. I would rather eat my own fingernails than ever have any future length of that version of Olympus again. That version of Olympus was dreadful. That version of Zeus made me nauseous. And I love Russell Crowe. That was the hardest 11 minutes of Russell Crowe that I ever had to watch. No. Yeah, like I said, the pressure's on. All right, let's see. Where am I at? All right, guys. I think that Midnight Express. It's an hour and 3 minutes. I got to control myself. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to get to everybody's questions and comments, but I have to control myself, or I will burn myself out. So we will probably be on the air later on this evening at around 6:30. So keep an eye out for that. If I'm not on at 6:30, it will be later on in the evening. But I'm going to try to get back in the swing of the Friday night show. It's just been a long time since we've done one. So I'll answer one more question. This is really easy. William, what are those championship belts behind you? The one on the top, the one directly above my head, is the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the version 4 that was recently retired last year. The one just beneath that is the IWGP New Japan United States title. And if you look closely, if you look at any of the pictures I posted, it's actually both of them are autographed by Jay White, who held both of those titles. And I actually have another one that's if you look at like I'll go stop cam. So right there, you see the one I'm wearing right there. I actually have that one sitting in front of my computer. It's off camera now. Eventually, when I get to the studio, my studio in here the way I want it, all of those belts will sit in field view of of the screen. So, all right, guys, thank you, and I will see you later on today at 6:30. If anything changes, if I'm not on at 6:30, I'll be on at 12:05 Saturday morning. But pretty much bank on me being there at around 6:30. All right, guys. See you later on.